Welcome to this lesson. In the previous lesson, we talked about how you can get uh, the type of a variable, which is how you can recognize if a variable is an array. How to recognize an array. And in that lesson, we realized and discovered that the built-in JavaScript operator type of is not something that is suitable to identify if a variable is an array. But that JavaScript itself, when ECMAScript was released in 2009, uh, provided two new methods to check if a variable is an array. And these two methods are array method, and the other one is the instance of array method, which we were able to examine how both of them works in the previous lesson. So this is now what takes us to another concept about array, which is where we'll be talking about nested arrays and objects. Now we've talked about the fact that array can contain different types of you know data, number, strings. It can even contain other arrays and as well as objects due to its heterogeneous nature. So we are now going to take a look at how arrays can be nested and objects. Values in objects can be arrays and values in arrays can be objects. So this is basically telling us that if you look at this critically, you will see that arrays and objects seems to be interwoven. Herein in the fact that the values of objects can be arrays and the values in arrays can be objects. Values in objects can be arrays and values in arrays can be objects. And now there's an example right here on my screen, which is my object a an object rather, sorry. So it's named my object, and you can see that inside that object we have a named index. You can see name and John. Don't forget that object used named index. So and then we have the age, and then you will see right there that inside that same object there's an array of cars that now contain objects that classify cars based on name and model. And those are there are three other objects inside the same arrays of cars. Now the arrays of car is now inside the object, my object itself. So and that is what is meant by values in objects can be arrays and values in arrays can be objects. Now to access array inside array, use a for in loop for each array. Don't forget that in JavaScript we have different types of loop, and when working with arrays, when you want to access array inside array, you use a for in loop and others and another special type of of loop method for in. So that is what you use to access array inside array. And let's just take a look at an example of how this can be achieved. I'll take this out and I'll use the example that is on the slide. So let's say I have a variable x, I set it to an empty string this way. Now my object const my object equals name, really, sorry, it's comma, not semicolon. This person age 30. Now and I want to have a car array right now. And inside the car array, I want to have objects. The first one is for, then it's models. I can use this. Then I make another object. The name of my car this time around is Honda, and its model Civic Accord CRV. I love this. Then I'll make another one. The name is Toyota, and its model Corolla, Camry, and Prius. So once I'm done with this, then I can close my last object. Now, take a look at each of these. You will realize that even though these are objects, one, two, three, inside it is an array, which is for the models of each of these car. And that, that explains better what it means that values of array can be in an object and values of objects can be in an array. You can see how this is used together. Now, if you now want to access array inside array, like it has been said that you use a for in loop, and let's quickly do that. So now that I have my objects, then I can loop over this to get my result. So I can do for let I uh, my object, the name of my object, and the name then. So I need to first access the object before I can access the array. Do you understand it? So then I can put my condition right inside this. So I want this. I want an H2 as the H2 as the output. So I can make this plus my object as, and then the value that I'll be getting from my loop. Don't forget that you can use any name. It doesn't necessarily have to be as you will see now. So for the model, I will use another name and call it J, and then same procedure. So the cars, and here I want to access the model. I've accessed named in the first for loop. Now I want to access the model. And accessing the model will take the same pattern this way. Now, now that I'm done with my loop, I want to print out an output for X. Sorry, I need to restart this. Just a second. Sorry about the break. And now you can see. Now, the name of the first element of this array is Ford. You can see the model Fiesta, Focus, and Mustang. And you can see for Honda and you can see for Toyota as well. So this is how you can loop over arrays when you want to get the value of arrays in an array using the for in loops. You can see for and in. So this is the for in loops and how it works in JavaScript. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next lesson.